Welcome to Down South Football Podcast, man. We back at y'all talking about some of the issues that's been happening over the weekend while all of us was a little bit busy. Sorry we haven't got with y'all this week, but hey, we're going to make up for it. Y'all going to get this video, and then y'all going to check in with us on Thursday night on live. This is your man, Renard D. Williams, and of course, to the right of me, whatever, it's going to be at DL Gardner, Mr. David Gardner, 205, the silent assassin. What's up, Gardner? You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just got once I get took off the show, I'm good. But tonight I'm all right. I hang in there.
He's back.
Oh boy. Anyway, of course we got Mr. I am DJ Double Dose, aka Ben Dennis, aka Lee Corso, aka he just don't give a damn sometime. How you doing, Ben?
I'm hanging on in there, brother. I'm hanging on in there. 1% better, man. Feeling 1% better. Decline.
Oh, we're not doing this today. I'm not even finna ask. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna Anyway, at Chauncey Tuck, Mr. C Tuck, Mr. Senator Tuck, as I like to call him. How you doing, sir? You doing all right, man?
I'm doing great, but due to the fact that we have a young man up there to the top with a exclusive Down South football shirt on and a plated gold necklace. We need to talk about this because this is.
What do you mean? You need to talk about this?
Exclusive stuff. He's getting ones of ones, and I'm not appreciative.
You already know who you need to contact.
I do know who I need to contact, but however, this guy is getting way more stuff than us, and we got to do something.
Well, you need to contact the man.
He needs to be stopped some kind of way.
Well, anyway, speaking of merchandise, you can always go to dslpodcast.com where you can find all our episodes, you can find all our shows, you can find all our links to everything, and you can find merchandise there. So make sure you always keep checking because you always add in stuff to it since Tuck wants to bring in much merchandise.
But you won't find this one.
You won't find that one. You won't find that one.
One of one. Sweat champions, baby. I'm sorry. I'm done.
You good. You good.
That part is great. But it's just the person who's wearing it. That's all.
But we want to come to y'all for a few minutes, man, and just talk to you about some things, few issues that's going on. This is one of our DSL short, as the man has his hooker going in the background. I'm sure y'all can hear that. He'll be okay. He got it going.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll mute myself.
No, you don't need to mute yourself. You all right?
It's on there now.
Yeah, it's good now. It's on there now. So, but welcome to another DSL short. This is where we come to y'all, hopefully for 30 minutes and under, and just summing up some of the topics that we want to talk to y'all guys about. But it feels good to be back down south, away from LA, off the flight. But when you leave for one weekend,
them planes, man.
A lot can happen in one weekend. Let's start with this one right here before we get into the other one.
Let the people know who Mr. Cornelius Williams is.
Cornelius Williams is Auburn's wide receiver coach, formerly of Troy. Formerly of Troy, someone that people were very, very high on coming into the season, coming into this job, was coming to his own as a recruiter, has a great track record with the receivers that he worked with to develop and get better. I'm going to say that this is not totally 100% an on the field issue. This might be a fit issue. It might be, and I have a funny feeling that there's some other things that are going on with this. It's a really kind of it's not really a good overall look. You know, in the end, you got to call a spade a spade. That's why I always say after a game like that, maybe this was brewing coming up to it, but it don't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Something in me tells me there's a lot more than what it is. Even though some of the things I've been told I will never say on this particular broadcast, but it just don't feel right to me. Tuck, what you got on this, sir? I'm gonna let you talk about this. What you got?
I just put it like this. At first I was very disappointed, that the way that it went down. But your first feelings are always, when you hear stuff like that, you'd be like, oh, but this don't make any sense. But then when facts start coming in of what happened and all that stuff, and yeah, okay, yeah, we need to. Harson to say is trying to look after Cornelius off of this one. Everybody's always asking, what about this position group? of players. Why didn't they take it? Why didn't they take out Bobo? Why didn't they take out Will Friend? First of all, Bobo is some of his play calling. Yeah, I can understand, but it was other things as far as personnel groupings, routes that were not totally run the correct way. I mean, people are always gonna say like, "Well, who caught the ball?" Yeah, that's true, but it was still a broken play. TJ Finley still had to make a play to make that work, but um, it was like a couple times, Kalen Newton even had to run out onto the field just to get 11 players on the field on that last drive. Kobe Hudson didn't run a switch route. He didn't run it deep enough. It's little small things. And in that Penn State game, you saw it too. You know, did it need to be? I trust Harsin right now because he's so dedicated to look. You need to do your job. If you don't do your job, you're gonna mess up everybody else. And I think the way that the sequence of stuff were happening almost every week and stuff that was happening behind the scenes, I think it was weighing on Cornelius a little bit. That's why a change had to be made. I'm disappointed I'm disappointed on how it happened. I'm disappointed on what happened. I'm disappointed in everything all together. So
yeah, I had really high hopes for him, man. I really did. Dave, what's your thoughts on what was your initial thoughts when you first heard it?
First of all, scratch everything Tuck said. Second of all, if Auburn was undefeated right now, would this have happened?
Yes.
That's the question. I didn't ask you, Tuck.
I know, but you just asked me.
I didn't ask you, so stop whispering in your mic. So you have to ask yourself, not you, Tuck, but you have to ask yourself as an audience, would this have happened? I saw something similar to this, and to your point, it may be more to it than what we know, but the only thing we can judge it off of is what we have on the surface.
Right.
I saw this, what was it, a year, 2 years? When was Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? And they fired their
2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was Jimmy Brumbaugh.
Right. And we were like, bro, your defensive line ain't the problem.
Right.
And so I look at this similar to this. I think that was Cornelius, was he on the staff with Gus?
No. It's his first year. It's his first year.
His first year. So
he came in Harsin here. Only part left over from the Gus staff is Calais.
Okay. So I think he's just the odd man out. And what we don't know is the things that go on behind the scene. I think it's bigger than what's on the field. I hate it happen. I think that he was a good up and coming coach. But at the same time, this is the nature of the business. You get hired, you get fired. I mean, that's just what happens in this type of, in any level of college football. This is what happens. So I don't like it, but at the same time, I don't really know the exacts of everything. So I don't have enough in front of me to really make a definitive decision whether it was right or wrong. But I mean, it's only thing I know is the wide receiver caught the touchdown. So and offensive line wasn't blocking because he had to run like hell to throw the damn touchdown. So
he broke by 5 tackles before he threw the ball.
Yeah, broke by 5 full tackles. So I mean, I'm looking at this like, why the fuck we didn't get rid of the offensive line coach? But like I said, it kind of is more. I'm sure it's more to the story than what what they're putting out. So I mean, I'll just kind of wait till that story comes about to kind of make a real.
But also, you always had 5 offensive linemen out there on the field at the time they were supposed to be out there.
Well, now I got to look to the strength and conditioning coach. Like, what are you doing? Why I got 5? Why I got all these linemen now? Like, what are we doing?
No, I'm just talking about they was out on the field when they were supposed to be. The wide receivers were not out there when they were supposed to be. Like I said,
and we talked about this pre-show though. I mean, when they're signaling in formations, what is 0? What is 10 personnel? 20?
Right.
You got to know this. You got.
That's
to know this.
part of that's the wide receivers coach's job.
I don't know if
it's also the player's job too, though.
The offensive coordinator, because
but what position does he coach? Saturday, what position does he coach?
But no. Well, that's what I'm saying. If they're effing up on Saturday, you got to believe that they're effing up during the week.
Yes.
Right. And so if I'm the OC, I'm straightening all that out.
But who does the OC? If that one position kept messing up, who do you think he goes to talk to?
The goddamn players. Because I get where you're going. I get where you're going, and I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Right.
Actually, this is one of the few times that I agree with you, but I can't. Yeah, I feel the same way. I felt that, so I can't 100% put it on the coach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm coughing too. This shit is amazing, but I can't 100 put it on because as a player. It's on me to learn personnel groups.
That's true.
Where I am, where I should be.
Okay.
That and the other.
Right.
Now we're at what week? What?
4.
Week 4. We're at week 4
5.
or 5.
Well, 5 or 5 now.
Week 5 now.
Right.
Week 4.
Week 5.
When it happened.
Right.
Did they have a fall camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they have a summer camp?
Yeah.
Did they have spring practice?
Yes.
Do you think the personnel group has changed between spring, summer, and fall?
Yes.
No,
because Robinson came in
like 10 personnel, 20 personnel. Do you think
that part? Yeah, I mean, no, that part didn't change. But
okay, that's all I need. I don't need you to go any further.
Okay, but then
I don't need you to go any
the
further.
The rebuttal part is you're the coach. You're the coach. What did you drill into your players' head? Obviously, you're not drilling the right things into your players' head.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Just like your ball head.
I didn't ask for you to get me to understand it. Just like when you knew you couldn't grow. Just like when you knew just like when you knew you couldn't grow hair no more, you cut it all off, right? So here's the thing. I did.
They
just
know
like when your beard was going gray, you went to Walmart and got some for it. But I did not
get the black eye.
Coco. That's Coco Midnight number 5.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Hold on, Ben. Dave, you make your last point. Tuck, you make your last point, and then we'll move on to Ben.
Therefore, I don't have no point. I yield my time to Senator Dennis.
Okay, Senator Dennis. Go ahead, sir.
But I think to what Dave's point is that he's saying is a lot of times, man, we keep throwing all of this blame on the coach. And like I guess because the college kids, they don't want to, place the blame on the kids. The kids got some responsibility in this too. Like what Dave was trying to pretty much say, like, yeah, I get it. He's a wide receivers coach. I get that. But at the same time, you should know what the hell you're supposed to be doing on each play yourself too. Okay. The wide receiver coach shouldn't have to keep walking your hands.
Stop talking
on the damn field. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have done that a lot with these coaches. They've fallen on the sword behind some of these kids not learning and doing everything they're supposed to be doing too. I mean, and not saying that that's totally the case with this guy, because of course, obviously there's some more things going on behind the scenes. But I'm just saying, so when you bring up the point of the receivers not being on the field and saying it's the wide receivers coach's job, it's like, hey man, you got your responsibility too. You the damn player. You should know you need to go in the damn game.
Go ahead, David.
All right, here's my thing. And Benjamin, you make an excellent point, brother. I'm gonna go back just a few years ago when I was coaching Little League football. Little League. I'm just gonna take it all the way back to the U part. Mm-hmm. On the maybe 6 and under, what we used to call the junior 75, which was a 6 and under team. Mm-hmm. The coach was able to go on the field with the kids. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I went on the field with my kids, I was able to see who was out there. If I didn't want them out there, guess what I did? I was able to, hey, you go out, you come in. Mm-hmm. But at 75 pounds, from 7 years old, you were no longer allowed on that field. Mm-hmm. Which means that you had one of your responsibilities was to know your personnel grouping. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I got too many men on the field, guess what? I'm not really looking at the coach. I'm looking at the player because you ain't supposed to be out there. Because trust me, when you're in practice, they run 11 on, 11 off. Right. 11 on. They go through these drills to where they know their personnel groupings. Mm-hmm. This just don't happen on Saturday.
No.
So I can't buy that. I'm not buying that.
This is what I'm going to say.
But Tuck, I didn't ask you to speak.
Oh, no, because I'm tired of you talking.
I'm not buying that.
Okay,
I'm not buying the
nobody's
fact
trying
that
to
because we
sell
got
it
too
to
many
you.
men on the field that this is why this kid got fired. I'm
No,
not buying that because
it's not even too many. It's not even enough. That's the thing.
how
Okay,
it went.
well,
You
look,
can't
listen
put
though.
all the responsibility on the coach.
It's
That's all I'm
not
saying.
though, but it's not all the responsibility is not on him, but it is the majority of it is.
No, it's not.
No. Yes, you're a coach. What you think you're supposed to do? That
You
is your
are a
position.
coach, but
That is your
at the same
position
time,
group.
we're talking about
Look,
23,
okay.
24-year-old kids that don't know when to come on the field and when
First
to
of all,
come
23, 24 years old, you're a senior. Okay, that's done. You got 18 and 19-year-olds don't know when they're supposed to be on the field. That's your
So
job.
I just gave you an example where I stopped being on the field.
Okay,
with
look, this is what I'm trying. This is why I'm trying to get you to. You're blank. You say
10 years of football.
Okay,
That
look,
they've
you're
been
telling
able to
me.
do it by themselves.
Listen. Again, I agree with you on some of this, but you saying, all right, like Bean was talking about. You said we got to put some responsibility to the players. I mean, players get coaches fired all the time. You say they don't get. Yes, they do get. That's the main reason. What's his name is on the hot seat right now is because his players are not playing up to their potential.
Well, what's the name? Go ahead and put a name with it, because I see where you're going with this.
Or Norvell?
I know where you're going with this.
He's not on the hot seat.
I know where you're
not
going
at
with this,
all. Not at all.
And truth be told, he shouldn't even be on the hot seat. Truth be told, you know who should be on Kenny Dillingham. But it goes back. But y'all ain't having
who should be on the goddamn hot seat.
But you're not having. But the thing about it is, though, one thing you can say about Florida State, they ain't having no personnel problems as far as getting on the field.
You're not having no issues because what's on the field is probably the other ones don't. The other ones realize they ain't getting on the field.
Okay, so, then, but see,
you can't have a problem.
But that's still not solving the main issue of why you don't have a lot of the right players down on the field, or you don't have enough players on the field. That's the problem that we'll keep running into. If you keep running to the same issue, if that coach is not holding them accountable, so what else you supposed to do? You supposed to get the players off the field. Don't play the same. The rotations don't work. Somebody got to be held accountable. You can't fire kids.
But does the punishment fit the crime?
Yes, if it's going on 4 weeks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
If it's going on for 4 weeks.
I got a team that's 0-4 that lost to Jacksonville State, and the head coach still has a job. The offensive coordinator has a job. The wide receiver coach has a job. Does the punishment fit the crime?
Again, Norvell is not Harsin. Harsin's not Norvell. Harsin is not. That's all I'm saying. It's two different types.
Like Norvell, but we ain't gonna get into that.
He has
he has a couple wins, but I get you. I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Bring it in, Williams. Bring it in, Mr. Williams.
I mean, I listen to everybody's point, and I think the biggest issue that we're missing with all of this, while we enjoy the lovely sounds of the hooker.
Oh, my bad. I'll put it on me.
Like ramen noodles over there.
Right. That's Davis enjoying himself over there. He's all good. If that's what y'all wonder, y'all hear. But let's take. I think we got too stuck on one point. We got stuck on one point about a formation, about this and about that. But the thing that we don't know is what led up to this point. And I think that's always the biggest thing is we don't know 100% what led up to this point. Some of these arguments about, what's responsibility of the coach and what's not responsibility of the coach. In the end, if stuff happens, if this was 100% for performance, which he never said. He never said what the issue was, which is why you think it's something that's off field. If it was, and I can only trust the people that I trust, like I said before, I believe it was a combination of things, and I believe something on one end blew. And it was just like, okay, we got to move on. Because even when he addressed the situation, he didn't really address it with a whole lot of details or fact.
Details, right.
It's kind of more of just like, he just kind of how he spoke on it. I hate it because the narrative now is like he can't do his job, which is total bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's just total bullshit. This is not about him doing his job or knowing his position or knowing anything like that. It's always more to that. It's almost like when Les Miles and Malzahn had that, winner take all, winner keep your job game a few years ago. So whether or not Les got fired or Gus got fired, so since Les lost, Les got fired eventually, and Gus got to keep his job. Hell, that didn't mean that Gus was better. It was just a situation he was put in. So the situation is the one that got me screwed about it. Same thing we said with the Tennessee thing when it happened a couple years ago. It was like, man, it's just really odd. So it's got to be something else. It's always something else when a situation like this happens. So to me, Cornelius, I wish the best for you. And I'm glad, hope you're gonna get all your $600K. I'm glad at least you're gonna get all your he gonna get all his money.
All of it.
He gonna get all his money. He getting all his money.
That's how you definitely know it's something else.
He's getting his money, ain't no whatever, but we need to move on from this. We can do this discussion continuously about coaches and stuff.
Well, before we move on,
another day.
Let me just point out the fact that Tuck was wrong. But go ahead.
I knew exactly where he was going.
Lord have mercy. I mean, and I have an idea, but I'll talk about that later. We'll deal with that later. So, staying down there, let's talk about TJ Finley versus Bo Nix. And the reason why I say TJ Finley versus Bo Nix because I've been waiting to talk about this because I hate dumbass people. I really have a problem with dumbass people. And I probably shouldn't say that, but I really, really do. You can't talk about things that you don't know about. And all of a sudden, now you're the expert on the subject. Okay. I watched the game again. The TJ Finley versus Bo Nix thing has been a competition. Let's start with that. That's part of the reason why Finley was brought in. Finley was brought in to push him, to not make Bo comfortable, because as you can tell, he has regressed from game 1 and 2. I'm not talking about the competition. I'm talking about his mechanics. He's back to throwing off his back foot again. He's back to doing all this other wild west stuff that he likes to do, taking it back to, like as Dave said, Pee-wee. To where he's like out there, like just
I can get away with it.
Yeah, I can get away with it. Is this whole blame on Bo Nix? No, I'm just talking about quarterback play right now. This guy tried to, this guy that I know, he was like trying to correct me off one of my social media posts, and he was like, "You still don't believe in TJ Finley?" I said, "Correction. I never said I didn't believe in TJ Finley. I said that TJ Finley wasn't ready." That's exactly what I said, because the dude's confidence was broken and still is broken and still is being repaired, and happy for him for what's going on. Finley came in, and first couple seasons came in, it was a little rough. Some of his same issues that Bo has, some of his inaccuracies showed up, but when push came to shove, he led the team down. That was a great 4th down play. I think people forget it was 4th down. That was like the last hurrah that he made, but it wasn't like a clean drive. It wasn't like this great drive, but you got to give the kid credit for what he did. I think Bo is going to start. I think his leash is very short, and I truly do think you just got a QB. Somebody said, "Man, you ready for your QB controversy?" I said, "We don't have a controversy. We have a competition." I mean, I think in the end, that's what's going to be. We can sit and talk all night. I don't want to talk about all the other position groups and everything and all those type of stuff like that. But in the end, that's what it's going to be. But you got to also look at a couple other things. Bo Nix for the past couple of years has been known to walk away and just be there with his coach and not really be with the team and all that kind of stuff like that. The one biggest thing that I got to see Saturday was that it wasn't about them taking the lead. It was about how they rallied toward TJ. They ain't rallied to a Bo like that. Ain't no team came off that whole team came off the bench and was happy for TJ because of everything he's been through. That type of shit matters. People can believe it if you want to believe it. I'm not saying Finley should be started. I ain't saying Nick should be started. I'm just saying those are the type of things that 100% matter. And you can tell this team is like, even Auburn basketball players are tweeting, finally, they got the right guy in there.
Basketball alumni is tweeting this.
Yeah, and current players.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you just it's a thing, and I feel like Bo's gonna get the start mainly just because of his experience. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if TJ come down there in this emotional game he gonna have, which you're gonna talk more about tomorrow. I mean, I believe you got to give the man the best credit. You got to give the man that's going to be the best to lead the team, because this team is full of damn deficiencies. Mm-hmm. This team is deficient in every place except for Tank and Hunter on offense. Mm-hmm. Every other place they're deficient. Offensive tight ends, they got a couple of them that's not really playing, but the one that's playing, he's good for what he does. The inside guards, okay. The offensive tackles are absolutely 130% horrendous, and I do mean horrendous. The wide receivers are the ones that should be more explosive are not stepping up. They're not playing. So it's like it's just a lot that goes into it. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. Well, from what we know about Harsin with his offense, is TJ Finley going to be able to run Harsin's offense the way that he wants it ran?
The biggest thing about Finley is not really that he can't run. It wasn't that he couldn't run the offense. It's just that he wasn't ready at that point in time to be that 100% decision maker.
Right.
And not necessarily that he can't run the offense. Some of the issues that TJ had last year where, he was a little bit more inaccurate, because the biggest thing that people look at his size. And TJ, he's still a little bit raw, but he played a hell of a lot better. And he showed that he's gotten better. And I think he deserves an opportunity. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's going to kind of be a back and forth, and it's going to be interesting to see how it is. I do not like the way that Bo Nix responded, though. I do not like that. When Jalen Hurts and them got benched, when they weren't playing, they was the first one out on the field. I didn't see that. I didn't see Nix with the team. The same shit that people been talking about.
But that should be surprising, though.
It's not bruh, but at the same time,
kissing his ass for all this time. I mean,
no, it ain't even all about that, dog. No, I can't even let you say that. It ain't all about that. It's about you being on a damn team. You can't say you on a team and you not doing what you supposed to do as far as being not that you own the team. You claim you the leader of the team. You say I'm the leader. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? If you the leader and you got pushed down, bruh, it should be about what happened with the team, not about what happened with you and your damn Milo's T goddamn endorsement.
Your feelings.
Go ahead, Tuck. I'm done.
Same thing. If I agree with you on the part of, especially about Bo probably starting. You said there's a short leash. I don't think it is a leash. When dogs don't have a leash, they run and they don't come back. This is going to be the type of game. Like, if he runs away, he's not coming back. TJ's gonna come in there and if he strikes a match. I mean, because Orgeron said in the press conference, that Finley cried in his office, like he didn't want to leave, but he knew he had what his potential was. The thing is, if TJ starts, that's great. If Bo starts, I'm gonna wait and see opportunity. I'm a wait and see type guy on that one. The thing about TJ Finley, he got better as the game kept going on. He got in the rhythm.
Yeah.
Sometimes with Bo is hit or miss. You can't tell if he catches a rhythm or not. I'm a big Bo Nix guy, but bruh, I'm looking at you like we keep having these same issues of you not being consistent. That's the whole issue. And consistency is a big thing right now, and you're not pulling your weight.
Tough. Mm-hmm. Let me quote the great David Gardner. Stop talking about it and be about it.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, in the end, he has. Now, he does not deserve all the hate.
Yeah,
but because of what's surrounding him, and if I hadn't had nobody blocking me in 3 years, I'd probably run like a chicken, my head cut off too. But you know what?
And definitely be seeing ghosts.
Like JG Tate said, Auburn rivals, you're an effing junior.
Yeah,
you're a junior. You started in the trenches for 3 years in a row, bruh. You cannot be missing wide open receivers coming across the middle to throw in the double coverage on the left side. You can't do that type of stuff, dog.
Right.
And you're no third-year starter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
That's it. And there was a reason, and I kind of, and I'm starting to pick up on what Harson's preaching. It was a reason why Bo wasn't a captain. It's kind of ironic you don't have your 4 year starter to be captain of the football team. But you got two of your best defensive players are captains of the football team.
And Tank, Tank captain.
But he's a game captain, but
Right.
he wasn't named a permanent captain. You know, you got permanent captains. You got two guys that's on defense, but you have nobody on offense. That right there told me a whole lot already, and I was kind of worried about it during the season. Now, Bo does go on social media and puts up a post talking about TJ and all that. Just like, no, that's just
keep that bullshit to somebody else, bro.
You could have kept that.
Your real reaction is on the sideline, dog.
Everybody that was on.
You were pouting.
Everybody to see.
You were pouting the whole entire time, and I'm looking at you like, bro, that's not a leader. And Harsin sees that. Harsin can't see it. Harsin is just, and this is why I think Harsin was playing a little bit to the media this week when he said, Bo was, going go TJ. I was like, well, I didn't see that on camera. I saw him standing down there on the other end when the offense. You want to talk about personnel groupings? He was down there. Bo was down there trying to help him, learn the plays and pull them together. Say, hey, this is what you need to look for. None of that occurred.
We've all watched football long enough to know when someone's being supported.
Thank you. All day.
And when they're being fake.
I'm sorry. and I'm telling you right now, them damn cameras were waiting to see if he was going to support him or not.
They went straight to it because they knew. They paying right to it because they knew.
Go ahead, Tuck. And then I want Dave to go ahead.
And this was my last thing. Was Harsin. Harsin tried to, again, sugarcoat it. At the end of the game, he said, well, Bo needs to be pissed off. I'll be pissed off if I was bitched too. I mean, Harsin is doing everything in this man's possible to try to fire Bo up and do something. I don't think it's going to work because everybody's been trying. Even Gus tried to fire him up.
Don't you say that name?
I'm sorry, but the only reason why it didn't work. The only reason why it didn't work. The only reason why it didn't work was because Bo didn't have nothing to worry about. Because Grant Floyd was not that guy. TJ is that guy.
Which is the reason why Harsin said you bring in competition to push yourself to make yourself get better.
Precisely.
What'd you say, Ben? I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say it's just mind blowing to me that we're here right after the decent game that he had at Penn State.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I guess the other point to that is, we joked about with FSU playing up and playing down to certain competition when you shouldn't do that, and I wonder if that kind of trickled into him, or is it just him just being completely inconsistent from week to week? Well, it doesn't matter if that would have been Arkansas in that spot or Georgia. So it don't matter. He was going to follow up a good game with a bad, inconsistent game. Is that just how it's been with him?
Let me say that about that stuff with him. Last year and the previous years, especially on the road, where he's been bad, Bo would lose you the game. Mm-hmm. But take it back to the South Carolina game last year. We had the game, and the game was in hand. The game wasn't an issue. Oh, yeah, but here comes turnover Bo. Here comes throwing off fading to the right and throwing back against his body. Bo. The difference this year with the Penn State game was he didn't lose the game, but he didn't win it. He didn't go out and win it. He went out and just made enough. He didn't make the mistakes. You could see it in his mind. He hear Bobo. He hear Harsin. Sometimes he's like, bro, pull it back. No, I gotta. It's like he's trying to do too damn much and not being a natural football player because it's not rolling to him like that. It's just not rolling to his head like that. Like if you go back and look at the all 22 film, you gonna sit there like, wow, like. He missed about 4 or 5 touchdowns. And I mean, not necessarily a Penn State game, but just in the overall. In the end, man, I think they're gonna give him the nod. But it ain't even about having a short leash, man. It's about the other things that go along with it, the reason why he got to start. Because here's my thing. As teams continue to move on into these next 4 or 5 killer games that you got, what's your identity? So you got a quarterback that's shaky. You got 2 stud running backs, and you can pull in Shivers in there. But if they can't run against nobody, if they can't block against nobody, then you don't have that guy. Penn State won that game because they had Dotson. Mm-hmm. They won that game because they had Dotson. You got to have a guy that you can go to. And Bo Nix just don't have it. But in the end, man, I think TJ deserves his damn shot. But I think Bo is gonna start. So me and Turner talked about that enough. Dave, Ben, I need y'all input.
Well,
I mean,
I thought I was going to
I guess I
go
look
ahead,
at it
Ben.
like this. Oh, you want me? No,
No,
I just
go
look
ahead.
at it like
Go
this.
ahead,
I
Ben.
mean, from everything, from everything y'all have said. I mean, if he has been that inconsistent up and down the way, y'all know it a little more detailed than we do because y'all follow it a lot harder. If he's been that inconsistent and now you actually have somebody in there that can push him, whether or not you a junior or not, I mean, you're trying to win football games. And that's just what it boils down to. Like you say, it's not about favoritism, not about what you was promised and all of that. And going into this game with LSU, this is a critical game. I mean, and of course, Finley, he's chomping at the bit. I mean, I'm sure he would love to, however he get in the game and be able to come in and show his ass.
That scares me too.
It could
that scares me
and
too.
That,
it might
might be
too
why
much too
he
big.
may not start,
like
you said. Like they may be like, look, we may bring you in,
right?
If, we have to, but we don't know if we want to put you there first drive of the game, and see how that goes. So as far as me, man, look, we all talk about competition all the time. We all talk about players having accountability, like we were talking about, pre-show. So, hey, if Bo ain't been handling this business, let's see what TJ can do. I think Saturday night at some point we're gonna see TJ Finley in the game.
Oh yeah. Point. Oh hell yeah. Oh definitely. Dave.
Man, I look at it as I have to ask one question. If I'm looking at it and I'm trying to look at it from a lens of a head coach of a brand new team, I have an incumbent quarterback that he would be a 3-year starter. This team has probably underachieved the whole 2 to 3 years that he's been here. Okay. We go out and play a Georgia State team that people forget that Georgia State is an FBS team, guys, which means that they are probably just a step under what you are. Right. Which means that if you're an FBS team, a high level FBS team, but at the same time you're not that good, a Georgia State can get you.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think we lose focus there because we see the name Georgia State. We're thinking, okay, they are right. Just this and but
you know how we feel about helmets.
Right. So you're looking at you're looking at the helmets.
Hate that
you say, Georgia State, Auburn. You would think Auburn should smash them. Well, if Auburn as a team is not a cohesive and a traditional Auburn team, then they could struggle with a Georgia State because a Georgia State has something to prove. So I'm looking at this as a head coach. Okay, I got an incumbent quarterback that's coming in there. I'm gonna give him the nod over this transfer. Because to me, on the surface, the transfer didn't start. He had an opportunity to start at LSU, but how they went.
God is trying to tell us something. Okay, can we continue? This is going to be a great show now.
So
now you okay. Dave, he back. Dave, you froze for a second. Dave, you for a second.
My bad. I'm sorry. So you got a kid that coming out transferring in, and you got a kid that's been here. Okay, I'm gonna get a kid that's been here the nod. He wins. I think y'all won week 1.
Mm-hmm.
When did y'all play win Penn State? Was it week 2 or 3?
3.
Okay, you won week 1 and week 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Week 3 you lost in a close one to Penn State. Georgia State, the referees cheated for y'all. So
appreciate that.
Okay, I just want to throw that. That's a whole nother topic. But
yeah.
Yes.
We're not gonna get on the referee topic in general.
Well, please.
Please. Well, I don't think I have a pushback on that. But however it
you don't get no pushback on that.
You don't get a pushback on that.
But they owe us one. Keep going.
Okay, I get you. So I gotta find a spark for my team. You got a guy that's been here, that's been stagnant for 2.25 years, and my offense has been stagnant. So yes, I am gonna reach back here and grab this guy. This guy comes down and he leads my team to the win. So honestly, guys, I said this. I don't know how many of y'all been following this podcast, but said this because I watched Bo Nix closely when he was at Pinson High School here in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, you've been on it for a minute.
And I told y'all that the things that Bo Nix get away with in high school, he will not get away with it in college. And he took a whole lot of the high school game that he had into college, like y'all talked about. Rolling to the right, going to throw back cross field. Yeah, that's cool when you got subpar competition. Well, you're playing the SEC. You're playing against a bunch of 4 and 5 star guys. And I don't put a whole lot of stock in that, but they're good players, great players,
talented players,
elite players in some positions. It's not going to work. So, do I think that Harsin was wrong? Absolutely not. Do I think that Harsin should roll with? Because I'm thinking as a new head coach, I got to look towards what's going to be next for my team. Where I'm going to put my stamp. Where's my stamp going to come?
Mm-hmm.
I got to make my mark. You know, I'm solid at running back. I'm a little shaky at offensive line, but I'm definitely shaky.
A little shaky.
Well, I can't talk about offensive line play.
So I'm gonna say,
yeah,
hey, you can when you telling the truth.
Exactly. It is.
But if I'm shaky at offensive line play, I'm not saying that Bo Nix is not an athlete, but I'm saying that Finley look like a little bit better athlete than Bo Nix.
He can move a little better, but he can't run straight forward. Bo is still straightforward, faster than him.
Well, the problem with Bo is that Bo, all of his movers are east and west.
Yes,
I need Bo to get upfield.
And
if
Renard,
you get upfield, you can make it happen.
And Renard and Ben too. But I just want to know because I think Bobo, not so much Harsin. I think Bobo has taken Bo Nix's running ability away from him a little bit too. I haven't personally seen any like call runs this year for him or nothing like that. Now TJ,
I've seen a couple,
but
not anything significant.
I mean, honestly, as a coach, would you really call design runs for Bo?
Knowing his turnover history
on a consistent basis. I'm not even talking about the turnover side, but I'm just saying who would you rather call runs for, Finley or Bo?
Bo, because Finley is not as fast as Bo.
No, he's not. He's not.
But Finley is like when he run. Now when Finley runs, he's like a statue when he's running. He's an easy target to hit. Now Bo, he's not, but Bo's not elusive. But Bo knows how to get down. But again, it comes back to the part of who looked better. When Bo takes off running, it looked kind of he's like apprehensive. But when TJ had confidence when he ran and he slid and he did look great.
Absolutely. So can I get my time back? So you proved the point that I was trying to make. So, and I know I'm taking a long time to get.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But what I'm trying to say is this: Auburn family. And I'm looking at the camera when I say this. Auburn family, embrace Mr. Finley. This is the future of your program. And honestly, I think that your program under Mr. Finley is in good hands. I really do. You plug this guy in, you give him confidence, you give him the support you need. It's time to move on from the Gus Malzahn era, because if you think about it, Gus would have never made that call.
Nope.
He would have rolled him. He would have rolled him into the ground. He would have took the L, and your ass would have been on goddamn, just like Florida State. You've been on sit.
Oh, well, I think we know that. I think we know that he wasn't going to do that shit.
Right. Embrace it, man.
I will say this. I'm happy TJ at that. I won't say he's 100% the future, but I'm happy for him.
He's the current future. He's what you got. How many years eligibility he got?
3.
Yeah. So yeah, he's the future. How many years Bo got? 3.
Oh, I ain't talking about Bo. I'm talking about the guy behind TJ.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then so be it. But it ain't Bo.
No. I
guess I can all say that
we all agree on that. Was I think that's
but not so fast, my friend.
Whip around my old friend.
You cannot put a damper on the the influence that maybe the family influence that might be there?
You can't. I mean, you can't. It's like Paul Tyson. It's like people calling for Milroe. Like, why is Milroe not number 2 at Bama? Jalen Milroe, the freshman out of Texas, and Tyson's. Nobody has looked at Paul Tyson and said like, oh, we just feel like he should be number 2. I mean,
in the defense of Paul Tyson, I watched Paul Tyson for 2 years. Paul Tyson is a legit guy.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're saying that he's not.
Yeah,
but I'm just
the thing is, I mean,
Paul Tyson is pretty good.
I was gonna say we're jumping ships, but Paul Tyson needs to go somewhere so he can start.
And he will if he gets if he graduates early.
He should go.
He's probably You had to understand as a Paul, and I know we're switching topics, but you had to understand as a Paul Tyson when you came to the university. Was Jalen Hurts still there?
Yes.
You had Tua there, right?
Yes.
You had Mac Jones there, right?
Yes.
So I've counted 3 quarterbacks, and if you graduate early, and then you got Young here that got
Rice.
What?
Right.
Oh,
Rice.
He's here.
So you have to know that, hey, I'm probably not gonna play at Bama, but
you got Milroe behind you,
right? And I'm gonna go just on the strength of my family and get my degree. Okay, but I'm a good enough quarterback. Shit, I can go XYZ college and start and still get to the league. He still get. I mean, if he burn it up wherever he is, he can still get there.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
He still have the fallback year too. So
you still got the COVID year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you talking about what you talking about? You're talking about he possibly could have 2 to 3 more years. Yeah, easy.
But I'm glad. I mean, we got some feelings out on that. I mean, I'm sure this topic's not going away, and I definitely want to dive deeper into some of this stuff more detailed. Hopefully soon we'll be able to have our own all 22 coaches access, so we can actually show film on here. So, because to me, that's the biggest part that people don't see. You can't go by what's going on the damn TV. It's not about the TV. It's like, do you know coverages? Do you know all this other stuff? Do you know everything's supposed to go on the play? So hopefully we can do that, so we can show the people we ain't just saying we like somebody. Right. It's like this is the reason why. But moving on to the next subject, Lane Kiffin comments. Let me explain.
Love Lane. Love Lane.
No, Lane didn't say anything. This is not Lane this time. Lane didn't say anything. Lane got comments thrown at him unsolicited by Mike Wilbon that basically wants to. I like Mike Wilbon a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he basically called the man a clown because of what he did at USC and all this other stuff.
Right.
Past transgressions.
Thank you. Past transgressions. And you can't. You could have put a button there that's saying like, well, maybe he's grown up, maybe he's gotten better, maybe he's just like, you got Nick Saban that's vouching for you now. And Kiffin even talked about how much him and Nick Saban actually talk. So it's like, I think you can't judge that man. Somebody in his early 30s, damn near in his 20s, that's the head coach of the Raiders, went from being the head coach of USC to the head coach of the Raiders, and had some personal issues but the man has grown up and has turned around a hell of a program. But for you to say that and just say, I'm going with Alabama because of that.
Yeah, that
was like
crazy.
And not knowing the fact that they pushed him to the limit last year, regardless of the circumstances, like it was a shootout.
It was
like,
they had the closest, they were the closest game. They were I mean,
so the whole thing is this about these comments, man. I wanted to discuss it because I don't think it's fair to Lane. And it's been all over the place. He was on Paul. He was on Paul Feinbaum talking about it.
Yeah, I saw that Paul Feinbaum actually defended him. Like,
and we got one more subject we're gonna get to, and we're gonna get on Paul Feinbaum. But you know, like, how do y'all feel about this, man? Like, my question is, like, I don't think it's fair for Lane to be having to take this kind of stuff, because it's like, where did this even come from? Why is that even a subject? If that's the case, Mike, do we hold your transgressions from the past?
Oh, please.
Or guess what you have done?
My Lord.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people judging me off what I did 10, 15 years ago. All right. I'm not the same person I was 10 days ago. You talking about 10, 15 years ago. So, but whoever want to chime in, go ahead and chime in.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No,
yeah, Because the
That's
whole
a long
thing,
time ago.
the whole thing is, when he was a coach of the Raiders, Mike Wilbon is a national guy. So let's
Right.
throw that out.
Yes, Lord, that's another issue.
That's what I'm saying. He's a national guy. College football.
National folks, he stopped talking about college football, but moving on.
Because he does not know anything what's going on. He just thinks Lane is still the same guy. He probably didn't even paying attention to anybody besides Alabama that's in the SEC. But more case of, okay, so Lane was in Oakland. He didn't go good in Oakland. He went to Tennessee. He burnt their bridge at Tennessee. After he burnt the bridge at Tennessee, he goes to USC. He goes to USC, does try. He got left at the terminal. So it comes out.
I mean, on the tarmac, on the tarmac.
On the tarmac, just left.
So you come back. So you come to Nick Saban's coaching clinic to get rehab. Yep. So boot camp. So now you come there and you do a good job. You turn there. You make Nick Saban change his whole mentality about offense. I mean, Nick Saban would just line them up, play action type pass, and that's it. Now without Lane Kiffin, you don't have an Amari Cooper. Without Lane Kiffin, you don't have these guys that's in the receiving tree. You don't have guys that's playing paper rock scissors for routes like Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs. What else? I mean, Waddle. You Waddle. You don't have these guys.
Hey, Chuck.
And
understand the fact that Saban went and got Kiffin.
It
wasn't like Kiffin had to apply.
Exactly.
Saban was like, "This is who I want. I want to revitalize. I want to revitalize my offense. This is what I went and got."
I had to change. Nick Saban. That's one thing I love about Nick Saban. He changes with the times because he knew that my offense was not going to continue to work. He knew that's the reason why he got rid of what's Ford's offensive coordinator name. He went to Michigan. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, that's the reason he got rid of him because that was not going to work anymore. But for Mike Wilbon to come out, like you said, no, I'm a big Wilbon guy because he tells it like it is. I think it was just lazy reporting. I think it was a lazy opinion to throw something out that Lane did something back in USC. And it had nothing to do with what's going on right now. And I think it's not fair to Lane. It's not fair to Ole Miss. It's not fair to none of that type of conjecture for him to throw out there to put on Lane like that. And it's not fair. Really not. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I understand that if this was Lane I can understand if Lane went to Florida Atlantic. If this was Florida,
that's what I've just.
If this was Florida Atlantic Lane, okay, I get what you're saying. But that's been 4 or 5 years ago.
Right, but hold on.
The decision to go there to Florida Atlantic.
That was his idea.
Him willing to go there. That was his idea to go there to prove himself. So that in itself right there shows you the change in him. You know what I'm saying? That he was willing to go drop down and go there to prove himself, to show that he has quote unquote changed or whatever you want to call it. So that way, when another opportunity presents itself, he can be, what he is now. And if you look at it, like you say, you look at what he's doing at Ole Miss, he's building a program. And then, like you say, to bring up something from 10 years ago that's crazy, man.
Lazy.
Well, that's one thing about that. Dave, what you got on it? And then we'll wrap up and go to this last subject.
Well, first of all, I'm a huge Lane Kiffin fan. I think, first of all, he's the GOAT on Twitter. If don't nobody follow Twitter, GOAT. Please follow Lane Kiffin. He gonna always keep something in the barrel, man. But I read the commentary that Wilborn said, man, and to be honest, sometimes those guys, they just, like you said, they just kind of out of the, it just kind of, out of touch, man. I mean, they just kind of speak because they have a national platform, and they know when they say this stuff, they know they're gonna get, some feedback on it, and the feedback fuels it.
Right.
So you have to always take what they say with a grain of salt, man. But hey, I'm like this, man. Lane, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I don't know if you ever see this show, but
we can tag him. We can tag him.
All right. So
he responds to tags.
Yeah. And tag him at 1 hour and 12 minutes. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And shit, go handle business on Saturday. That's all I got to say. You handle business on Saturday, You ain't got you won't trust me. If you have a business on Saturday, it won't be no more Michael Wilborn. I guarantee you that.
We're gonna talk about Saturday tomorrow. But the last thing we want to get into today, this question is the question. Now let me put some let me build this up about why this question is here. Paul Feinbaum doing what he does sometimes. Had the nerve to basically say that Clemson is done. Their dynasty is done. It is over with, and it's caused a lot of ruckus around college football about do you think it's Clemson is done as far as their dynasty part or whatever you want to call it, their dominant era or whatever you want to say. I'm gonna say my personal opinion is hell no.
Go look at the roster.
And the reason why I say all that is because it'd be like saying if Bama was done after 2014 or whatever other year they lost 2017 or whatever, but
10 when they had 3 losses over the year.
But I don't feel like it's a thing where Clemson is done. The recruiting is still strong. Now they do need to do some things on their coaching staff. They need to change some things up. But until if they show just a little bit better, they're not even being talked about like this. But Clemson is nowhere near done. Like to say the dynasty is done. I don't want to say dynasty because I think that's a stretch when people say dynasty. But I don't think Clemson is on that level yet. 2 years of this, then you can talk. But I think, like I said before, I said about Clemson and their offensive issues, because truth be told, you can't say anything bad about the defense. Right. You can't say nothing bad about the defense. It's like they flip-flop their ways. So I don't know. But Dave, what you got on this? What's your feeling about Clemson?
First of all, I'm in agreement with you. Hell no, they're not done. That's number one. Number two, I actually went back and rewatched some Clemson games this weekend. Ultra talented on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I'm talking about ultra talented. Talented on the offensive side of the ball. Offensive line, it's not what it was.
They always been good. They were never great. They were just good enough.
Right.
They were good enough. The quarterback play. The quarterback has a hot ass arm. I mean, this is one of the best arms that you're gonna see in college football. But you have to remember, when was his freshman year? Was his freshman year last year?
Last year.
Yes.
So this is sophomore. So you're talking about a true sophomore. It's gonna be some growing pains. I'm not sold on the running back. I'm not sold on what his name is. It Shipley?
It don't matter. He done.
Shipley.
Yeah. I'm not sold there, but I did see him make some flashes.
Right.
So I say all that to say this. Clemson ain't done, bro. I think this is just a reloading. You know how if anybody ever played Call of Duty and you run out of clips, you run out of bullets, and you just kind of like waiting, you just reload, whatever the case. You ain't got no med pack right now, so you got to sit back, wait. You're dying and some shit like that. This is where we at with Clemson. But when they ask reload, I'm gonna put all of college football on notice. They are not bullshitting. They got players. They got talent. They do have a quarterback that can make plays. Right now, they're having issues up front. So I'm not going to count them out. I'm not going to say they did. They are absolutely not done. Now, are they going to go to the college football playoff this year? Oh, hell no. That's not going to happen. But here's the thing. Here's the problem, and I'm going to be real short, 15 seconds. Here's the problem I have with college football. Because I have a 1, 2-loss, 3-loss season, then now I fucking suck. I'm sorry about to use the profanity. Now I suck. I suck because I've lost 3 games.
Which is dumb.
Which is freaking dumb. In what other sport can you say that I've lost 3 games and I suck?
Been having this argument for a long time.
In any other sport, I can lose three games and I'm great. Even if the Giants
Keep
Right. You be glad that your time is up.
If the Giants lose only 3 games this year and go to the freaking Super Bowl or go to the NFC Championship and lose to Tom Brady, which probably was going to happen. But if that happens, the Giants had a great freaking year. I'm talking about a great year. Tuck would not have that look on his face that he has right now because Saquon Barkley sucks right now. He will not have that look.
That's correct.
Right. So,
but that's the hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy of college football that we talked about this earlier. It's like this is what y'all say. This is what people say. Oh, they ain't beat nobody. Well, it's only 10 good teams. You can't have it both ways.
But bro, they saying
Right.
it ain't but 10. It ain't but 10 good teams. But how many good teams does Alabama play?
Right.
Let's just cut to the chase. How many good teams do they really play?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Maybe.
And I'm gonna give you 3 if Auburn is good.
Yeah, if Auburn is good.
Right.
That's correct.
That's your third one.
Normally a non-conference is a non-conference major opponent. Now this year they're gonna play some tougher teams
because they're good.
Right, because the teams are better. Like Arkansas is not gonna be a pushover.
And there you go.
Arkansas don't be a pushover. Ole Miss damn ain't gonna be no pushover. And regardless of what's gonna happen, LSU gonna show the hell up for Bama. They might still get blown off the field.
But
I don't know if Auburn and then of course, even though Texas A&M is struggling, you don't know what the hell Jimbo gonna pull out his bag because that's a game he still got marked.
Absolutely, you can't count Jimbo out because of what happened last week.
But Georgia in the possible SEC championship game.
And the biggest issue, Dave, what you're taking on, and this all goes to the fact about Clemson being done, is that well now they don't play nobody. They don't play nobody in the top 25, so we're gonna write them off for the rest of the season.
It's the same team they've been playing the whole time.
The whole time.
So them playing a Florida State that might be in the top 25, or them playing a Miami that's in the top 25 changes your whole perception about it. And that's the funny part about the whole scheduling thing. It's like we do not reward in college football getting better from week to week. We reward squeaking by and getting better week to week. But if I lost my second game to whoever, but it's a D1 opponent, if I go through ripping through my conference season and I'm ripping everybody, why should I not still at least be considered? Which is always the argument. Which is always the argument for people to be like, we don't need no more 4. Well, you're gonna put 16 in to get to that 4. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, I can say without a doubt,
we ain't gotta talk about it. Such and such.
We ain't gotta talk about it. We ain't gotta talk about number 5 because what if it's this year? What if Ole Miss don't lose another game?
And Renard, to take it a step farther, and I don't know if we're getting off topic or not, but
we talking about Clemson being done by the subject.
To take it a step farther, would the Miami and Alabama game? I'm just using that. I can use a couple of games. I'm gonna use that one. Would the Miami Alabama game would be Miami and Alabama if Miami was not ranked preseason?
No.
It would have been a helmet. It would have been a helmet game.
It would be helmet. Now take who is that? VTech. VTech beat North Carolina.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They stormed the field.
Mm-hmm.
Would you storm the field if North Carolina is not ranked?
No.
It will mean nothing.
Been a win. Right.
Here's the thing, and I want whoever listened to this show at 1 hour and 21 minutes. I'm sorry. Whoever listens to man, listen. We are being kind of played in a sense because they build the matchups to build the ratings. Think about it. We have to have a big kickoff weekend. So yeah, we know Miami gonna suck. And we know they gonna suck. But why not give them a number?
Just put a number.
Put a number on
them.
them. We know Bama gonna beat the hell out of them, but it looks better with Bama playing a ranked Miami versus them playing a unranked Miami. It looks better on paper. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at, man. So to our point, bro, that's where we at, man.
Clemson, in the end, we said all that. Clemson is not done for what I was saying about. But go ahead, somebody else was saying something.
Nah, and I'm gonna say, and I guess if we hadn't spent the last few years on this show talking about recruiting and talking about Clemson's recruiting, then maybe somebody could look at that and say, "Oh man, they done whatever the case may be." But us knowing what they have on that roster, you can't sit up here and say that they're done, because even with this season, they still gonna play Boston College, who's undefeated. They're still gonna play Wake Forest, who's undefeated. And unless you just fully believe in NC State and think that NC State is gonna run the table and not lose to anyone else, Clemson is still pretty much in play to play for the ACC championship, because they have Boston College and Wake Forest on their schedule. They're still gonna play them. So, and even to the point with DJ, I mean, we kind of all thought that he was going to work through some things. I mean, he's not. When you have Deshaun Watson and then you have Trevor Lawrence, it's kind of hard to go from those two guys to someone else and just thinking that the train is going to continue to roll and continue to roll. So DJ, like Dave said, he's working through some things. Like, I don't think that the kid is not talented. I don't think he's not the guy. It's just that right now he's having some struggles. Like you said, they're having problems up front, so they're having some issues up front. Now, losing Lil Shipley is going to be a problem because the running game already wasn't that great. And then now he's out and hurt. I don't know if he's done for the year, but he's going to be out for a while. So that's going to be a little tough to overcome.
The issue with DJ is that he lived up to the hype when he got into the Notre Dame game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the pressure, the Dr. Pepper ad, that's where all that comes from. It's like when he stepped in for Trevor Lawrence, he didn't lose that game for them. He wasn't the reason. So it's like, okay, it's like, shoot, here's the next one. And not saying the talent wasn't there, not saying he wouldn't got that hype, but it's like you seen him on the field, you seen him perform.
Bro, I challenge anybody to go to YouTube and pull up any Clemson game this year. I don't care what game you pull up. Look at the arm talent of that kid.
Mm-hmm.
That arm talent is freaking legit.
He can spin.
He can spin. And to your point, yes, he looked like the second coming last year. But that also last year's running back, also last year's offensive line,
receivers.
All that, like you said, all that was last year.
Right. That's all last year now.
Y'all brought up great points. Y'all have about Clemson not being done. Yep, 100%. Good points. Great points.
Now, sorry for you. I would love for them to be, but I know they're not.
Here's the issue, and this is the defense. How long has Mr. Venables been at Clemson?
Forever.
For a long time.
A long time.
And I hate to say this. This is the reason why Clemson is struggling. Clemson is struggling because they miss Jeff Scott.
Now that is a true statement.
That's it.
Yes, because he's now head coach.
No, he was a co-offensive coordinator with Tony Elliott, and Tony Elliott wasn't ready. And people had said that for the longest that Tony Elliott wasn't ready. You can tell by the play calling. It's not consistent enough as far as being balanced. You're trying to show DJ off too much. Like Dave said, I think DJ is a great quarterback, but at the same time, they're not afraid of your running game, so they're going to drop more people into coverage. Like, again, what Renard is talking about, we want to show you that all-22 type thing. We want to show you on that all-22 type thing is why DJ is struggling. Okay, DJ can't understand that if he sees a cover 3 rolling to the right or shade to the left, he doesn't understand how to throw up underneath that. He can't understand if he put a guy in motion and the guy trailing him, he's in man coverage. He can't see if there's a robber coming. He can't see if it's a zone blitz. He can't see. He got to get a chance to call that out. Now that comes to coaching. Jeff Scott coached Deshaun Watson. Jeff Scott coached Trevor Lawrence. Jeff Scott got 1 year. I don't even think he got a year. He didn't get a year with DJ, but he did recruit him.
Right.
And
that's the biggest problem. That's the thing. I think it's clearly over. No, but I think that's the main key that's missing from the whole thing.
I don't think that it's a situation where he can't see it. I think DJ sees coverage. I think he knows coverage, and I think he processes it. I don't think he has time.
Well, that's true. That's true because against Georgia and against all gaps, he had people open. It was people underneath. It was no deep stuff. It was a couple of intermediate routes that was open. Like, but that pick six, he stared him down. I mean, he looked like Bo Nix. He's just
and then what we have to look at too is down in distance. You know,
Correct.
if it's 3rd and 10, I ain't really looking at my 2-yard route or my 3-yard route. I mean, I could dump it off just to make a completion, but
yeah. Again, that comes to the play calling too, because you shouldn't be calling. You should be calling everything that sticks. You know,
right?
All your underneath routes need to be stick routes anyway.
Right.
Then you have your deep stuff, and then if that safety does bite, even if it's cover 2. All right, let's say it's cover 2 man. You got a cover 2 look. You're going to probably just try to go for the middle. That's the only thing that's probably going to be. And then if it's cover 2 zone, then okay, they're playing sticks. Now you got to look at everything. Then you got to look at your deep routes. You got to look at your intermediate pass, your linebackers. Then you got to put a little bit of touch on the ball. You're not going to be able to zoom it in there because you got linebackers sitting right there. It's a lot of stuff that, like you said, I think he's processing it. He is probably know how to read defenses, but he needs to know quickly.
And understanding that, and we talked about this before. Me and Dave, I can't remember if it was on the show or not. We talked about the fact about Clemson offense and the simplicity, and also with the fact of, I mean, I think I brought it up before. These issues of them averaging like 1 and 2 yards a carry, that's been there. But the difference was always had ETN to hit that home run. And to the point, y'all got people, I think people forget, the Clemson couldn't run the ball last year because that's why ETN had 9, 10, 11 questions. Run the stick route out of back. I mean, he getting the swing passes. He had games, he had 11, 12 catches. And I'm like, and he had like 11 catches for like 145 yards and like 15 carries for like 58 yards. I mean, some crazy kind of like, stat like that. But in the end, I think even when we're talking about Bo, we talking about all this other stuff, the people that don't talk, thing that people don't talk enough about is these lines and how that affects you as a quarterback. I think we got to get a quarterback on so we can let people know how quarterbacks really process. Watch Peyton and Eli on Monday night. And they are the best, bro. I love Lewis with them, but you got to watch them to actually feel what a quarterback really goes through.
Every night, man. To your point, though, I don't even think they need to watch him. I think you just need to think. If we have an offense, the center hikes the ball, and let's just say hypothetically it's only the center,
right?
And it's 4 defensive linemen. You only got a center. What you think gonna happen? So, in other words, if nobody's blocking,
right,
what you think gonna happen? Let's just use common sense. And I keep going back to Alabama because that is the top tier of what we're talking about. We call it, that's the standard. When Alabama's offensive line is no good, they're no good.
But the question is, like you said, the question is, when are these boys like really not good?
Well, they're not going to ever be no good because Nick Saban knows what the hell to go get.
He knows what I'm saying.
Doing.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Right. That's what I'm with you. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's like they just got the number 1 offensive tackle in the nation, just committed to them again for the 4th year in a row.
And why do you think that he has him or go get him? Because he knows that football starts up front. We talked about the other week when I picked I think I picked what's called the beat Bama, right? Who was that almost beat Bama the other week?
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Well, I picked Bama, but I said it was going to be close. But I said it would be close only if Bama could control up front.
Mm-hmm.
If Florida control. If Florida could block and Florida can get
always up front with them.
It's with any level of football, pee-wee, middle school, high school, college, pros. It starts up front. If you don't, that's why we can't have no success in Tallahassee. I don't care who the quarterback is. You can have a young Joe Montana back here. If you have nothing here, you in trouble.
It ain't gonna matter.
We talked about that. We talked about that perfect upside down U that Mac Jones had for like 80% of the year last year. That's no hating, But even with Bryce Young now, like they don't get this now. This line they got now is nowhere near as good as that line back year.
Yeah, it's
nowhere
like
near.
it's a W now. It's a W.
Yeah. So, but
it's a being in there now.
But it's like, but that's the point though. That's the point of the whole thing. It's like we talk about a Bo Nix, we talk about all these quarterbacks, but that's what I get pissed off at. That's what I get mad. Like y'all don't talk about the stuff that go around them. All thing y'all see is a ball snap, him moving and the ball going. You don't know shit about what's going on the outside, inside, whether it was twist call, what the offensive line do. They doing slide protection. What they doing? If the offensive line doing slide protection and they got the right front call against it, and Bo like he running for his life, or any other quarterback, that's all your dumb butt see. That's all your butt see is the quarterback running for their life, and you don't really understand it. This is why I want to bring all 22 access to our show, because I think it's something that will really help people to understand it better and just be like, look, this is what you need to see, because that's what everybody else watches and see. When people really break it down, or McElroy and Cuban break it down in the morning, it's because they have access to it. They can see the stuff that you guys don't see, that we don't see on TV, and that's just what it is. But anyway, I think we talked enough about this. We got a show to do tomorrow night also. So we're gonna do our prediction show live, and we got some really good games this week that we gotta predict. So I can't wait for it. I think Tuck done already went black. I think his little camera done died.
Yeah, I have to find a battery.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll be gone by the time you find a battery. So
yeah, by the time you find that battery in the bag.
But anyway, y'all join us tomorrow night, man. We'll drop this video in the morning. Y'all join us tomorrow night, man, and we'll talk some more football. Maybe we'll get a special guest on. Hopefully tomorrow. But this is your boy Bernard D. Williams. If nothing else, go to dslpodcast.com. Follow us on all social media. Mr. DL Gardner 205. You got anything before we go out?
Man, nothing, man. Just only thing I got to say is let's just watch the game within the game, which is up front. Let's just watch the offensive line, defensive line.
Always.
That is, I don't care how fast a player is, or how he can jump, or how strong his hand is, or how great a quarterback it is. If it don't start, it starts up front. If up front ain't right, it ain't gonna be right.
And learn some, and learn. And before y'all start watching that, learn some technique. There is techniques to offensive line blocking, and different coaches teach different techniques for different things. Same way with defensive alignment. It's defensive alignment techniques and it's offensive alignment techniques. It just ain't, he ain't blocking. It ain't always that. Now sometimes it is.
It could be.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things, but make sure you learn the techniques and everything else. But Ben, you got anything, man? We about to head up out this thing.
Nah, we good, man. We're gonna have some fun tomorrow, man, and we're gonna get it going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I can't get no shirt made before tomorrow, so I'm just out of luck. Tuck, you got anything?
No, man. I just
I ain't giving y'all no more money.
Like I said, man, I appreciate everybody just listening to us. And like I said, like y'all was saying, go out there and learn something else about football other than
other than roll tide.
And
learn something other than roll tide.
Learn some of the see ball, hit ball, and
get everybody to the ball.
He don't learn something about the offensive line other than he can zone, he just blocked the person in front of him. No, learn something about zone blocking. Learn something about pulling, traps, digs, zone running. Yeah, that's important. Kickback and pass pro. Understand what pass pro is. Some people don't even know what pass pro is. That's very shocking, by the way.
It's not shocking. I know folks been watching football their whole life, and I talked to them for 5 minutes. No, they ain't never looked inside the game.
Pass pro, and they be like, well, he ain't in the game because he ain't good at pass pro. And they be like,
what?
Yeah,
that's
man.
The quarterback getting killed with him back there. That's why his ass ain't no first down. But
anyway, fellas, man, we about to be out, man. If nothing else, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Nothing else, like and subscribe on YouTube. Sorry, it went a little bit over, but it was a really good discussion. The discussion that we need to keep going. I'm sure it's going to go tomorrow night too. So hopefully y'all tune in. If you can't catch it tomorrow night, catch it on the YouTube channel, man. If nothing else, fellas, we out, man, and we'll holler at y'all later on. See you.